Hello, welcome back to the We Are City channel, to our FC 26 Manchester City career mode. Things have not been going well. Manchester City, since the start of December, really have been in a rut. We've been in a bad patch of form, and we're looking to try and get out of it. We currently sit top of the Premier League table, 6 points clear, but we have lost a few in our recent games, and we have made mistakes in recent fixtures. And finding ourselves 6 points clear feels great considering the form we're in, because we were over 9 points clear at one point. Luckily, Arsenal and Liverpool haven't been that amazing to try and catch us back up. It is between us, Arsenal and Liverpool. 6 points clear of Arsenal, 7 points clear of Liverpool. And the opening game of today's episode will be against Arsenal. What a big game to kick things off. This is a massive game. If City win this, we go 9 points clear. You'd say the title race is over. Manchester City will look to be champions despite their poor form. However, if Arsenal win this, they narrow that lead down to 3 points, and it will go all the way down to the wire. That's not the only first big game in today's episode, because there's other big games as well. As you look at our calendar right here, we have got a Champions League qualification game because we didn't manage to make it automatically into the Champions League knockout stages. Ajax beat us in the final game, which meant we go and play Ajax again. So we're going to play Arsenal to kick the game off, kick the episode off. Then we're going to play Ajax at home, Everton away, and then we'll decide if we're not doing well against Ajax, if we're not 3 or 4-0 up, we'll play the home game and leave Newcastle for the next episode. If we are, then we'll simulate the second leg against them at home, and we'll play the game against Newcastle in the month of February and going towards the month of March, where there's hopefully going to be some Champions League football in here as well, if we can beat Ajax. No FA Cup, no Carabao Cup action. We are unfortunately knocked out of both those competitions. So let's get into this big one though, against Arsenal. And a look at here of the opponent, which is, of course, Mikel Arteta's side, or once as Mikel Arteta's side. I believe in this save, Arteta has moved on after his failures to win the Premier League. It is a very similar looking Arsenal side to what we're used to, with pretty much only 2 changes that come in the fullback areas. More forward-thinking fullbacks than the likes of Geraint Timber and Ricardo Calafiori. It is Nuno Mensch, one of the, if not the best left-back in world football. On the right-hand side, Dani Carvajal. Now, Arsenal have drawn 2-1 3 of their last 5. They're undefeated in the last 5. Manchester City can't say the same about themselves. It's going to be difficult. They play possession football. Key defensive players are Rice, Gabriel, Nuno Mensch. Key attacking players, Ødegaard, Rice and Saka. Rice, who is an all-action midfielder. This time we're going against Arsenal today. Donnarumma will start in goal. It's going to be Kusanov, captain Diaz, Vardiol and O'Reilly City's back 4. Nico and Rodri once again partnering that holding midfield roles with Tajani Reinders in the 10. Cherki off the right once more. Semenyo off the left. And Erling Haaland through the middle. Marmoush drops the bench with Bob and Savinho as attacking options. Anderson and Lewis as our midfield options. Aït-Nouri, El Hilali and John Stones are defensive options. No Matheus Nunes today, no Vita Hayes. Of course, no Phil Foden, who will be out until the end of the season with that ACL injury. And no Doku as well, who's currently suspended indefinitely. That is a big moment that might have rocked our season. So top of the table clash. A game between the first and second place Premier League sides, which can result in 2 possible scenarios. Manchester City win this and go 9 points clear at the top of the Premier League table. Arsenal win this and they reduce it to just 3 points. Neither side win this, it's a draw and it stays at 6 points. So it is really a big game in terms of the numbers. Manchester City and Arsenal. Arsenal who have got a new manager in charge now. Someone who's taken the helm over from Mikel Arteta. Someone who's trying to drive Arsenal to this Premier League title, which has been so difficult in the battle with Manchester City. They're captained by, I believe, Gabriel. Manchester City captained by Ruben Dias. 2 of the best performing defenders in the Premier League. The 2 big, well-known centre-backs who have constantly impressed when they have played. There is the Arsenal side. The front line looks scary. The midfield is strong. Let's see how Arsenal do line up today. This is the Arsenal side then. They go with David Raya in goal. It's a back 4 of Carvajal, Saliba, Nuno Mensch and Gabriel, Ødegaard, Rice and Marino in the midfield 3, Gyökeres, Martinelli and Saka the midfield 3. That is Chiara Biari's side with Norgard, Jesus and some other key players attacking options on the bench. It's different. Rice playing more further forward, Ødegaard sitting deep and dictating play. Gyökeres. Martinelli, who can't be taken off him like Kusanov. Here's Mikel Merino. Ball behind to Vita Gyökeres here. Stings the palms, the City's Italian Donnarumma behind for a corner. Well, defensively our issues really are, aren't they? There's a head behind Marino, it's over the bar by Donnarumma. One might say Arsenal playing some better stuff than us. Mikel Merino. Vardiol there out towards Martinelli. Back in behind to Marino. Back wide towards Martinelli. Good skill by Martinelli. Ruben Dias is across. Another save by Donnarumma. Good play from Arsenal. Ødegaard. Gyökeres. One behind towards Martinelli. Oh, Kasanov dives in. Martinelli. Nico in there on him. Nico goes in for the challenge penalty. Arsenal, oh dear. Oh, in a game like this, which is for the Premier League title, you can't be making mistakes like that, Nico Gonzalez. But he does do. I didn't particularly think it's much of a foul on Nico, Pep Guardiola. Nappy, the Saka versus Donnarumma, please. Down the middle by Saka. 1-0 Arsenal. Clean sheet gone. He's 10th of the season. Title race well and truly on. Oh dear. Right down the middle from Saka. Donnarumma dives out the way. Gyökeres. Falling behind here towards Martinelli. City trouble because Diaz can't get there with him. Martinelli! Big save by Donnarumma. And Diaz and Kasanov with him. Back out to Mikel Merino. Ødegaard. Saka. Nico tackles him. Back to Ødegaard! 2-2 Arsenal. Manchester City are in absolute free fall. And Martin Ødegaard makes it 2. Right to Cherki. Onto Nico. Good pass. In behind to Haaland here. Haaland is in! Haaland scores for 2-1. There might be a comeback on. 27th for the scene for Erling Haaland. Come on. Ball through by Nico. Haaland in behind Gabriel. And he makes it 2-1. Merino. Defeat here. Cuts it down to 3 points at the top of the table. And Arsenal are going to win this massive game here. A win for Arsenal at the Etihad means Manchester City are only 3 points clear at the top of the table. And we are in trouble now in the title race. We have been for a while. That defeat makes it more prevalent. They are on our heels. And the momentum is fully in their favour. What has happened to this side that started the season so well? I don't know. Well, considering it was our biggest game of the season, really, so far, massive one to face off against a side that now might take the lead in the title race. Our analysis does reflect that there were some good performers in there. I thought Donnarumma played really well, actually. He made some big saves throughout the game. Our left-hand side certainly better than the right-hand side, with Vardy and O'Reilly having good individual performances. But, I mean, really, is the midfield that sort of let us down. Cherki, Nico, Reinders, Semenyo, Rodri, not really performing like they should do, especially Reinders and also Nico, I thought were pretty poor in that midfield. In the end, no matter what Manchester City did, we couldn't win. It does change the Finalysis best 11 ratings a little bit. I mean, Foden and Doku are going to be stuck at those ratings, 85 and 86, throughout the season now, aren't they? Because Doku not be playing any games for us, and of course, then Foden is injured for the rest of the season. Let's hope that is something that can change for the future. We can have someone else win the best Finalysis player of the year. But at the moment, it's looking like Doku and Foden are going to win it purely because they've got great ratings and they're not going to be playing again. Well, this is our Champions League knockout stage. You're looking at qualification for the knockout stage, round 16. Sporting play Leipzig. Fenerbahce play against Bayern Munich, which is surprising for them to be in that position. Juventus, Monaco, Inter, Marseille, Barcelona, Galatasaray, us against the Ajax. Real Betis against Bodo Glimt, and Frankfurt versus Roma. So some big games, some big teams. The teams that automatically qualified were Liverpool, Arsenal. Arsenal have been fantastic this season. Liverpool, Arsenal, Paris Saint-Germain, Napoli, Real Madrid, Dortmund, Newcastle and Atletico Madrid. We missed out by a single point. A draw against Ajax, who have done it. Now we have to play them twice again. So I'm going to go with away to Ajax today. Donnarumma starts and goal. We're going to go back to the 3 that we used at the start of the season, that we rotated with, that we sort of moved away from. Stuck with the 4-3-3. That's not been working. I'm sort of out of ideas at the moment. Nothing's working at all. So we're going to go back to that 3, see if it works. A 3, sort of 2-5. So Stones, Diaz and Vardy are back 3. Rodri, Anderson, the holding roles with Savinho and Semenyo in the wide areas. And it's Marmoush, Cherki supporting Erling Haaland up top. On the bench we've got Bob, McAdoo, Reinders, Nico, O'Reilly, Nuri, El Hilali and Kasanov as well. And hopefully this works in Manchester City. In possession, it looks a little bit like this. I don't know why Haaland drifts out wide and Marmoush goes to the middle and Savinho goes one way and Semenyo goes the other. That makes no sense. I'll make sure I change that because that's not how it should look at all. We've been here before, it's not worked out before. We come here to Amsterdam to face Ajax, the side that stopped us qualifying automatically with a win against us. And they played us at a time where we're in really bad form. We continue that bad form and we're not out of it yet. And now we have to come to the Johan Cruyff Arena to face Ajax, to beat Ajax, hopefully in this first leg, and beat them comfortably, convincingly, so that we can sort of move forward in the UEFA Champions League. City have had a rocky few months of the season. That continues that defeat to Arsenal, which cuts our lead down at top of the table to 3 points. But forget the Premier League for now. Let's worry about the UEFA Champions League, because it's a competition we expect to go far in. Let's see how Ajax do line up today. It looks like Weghorst in there, the big man up top to deal with. He was the hero, wasn't he, I think, in the previous game. So this is Emil Smith's side, starting with the goalkeeper. Ramos starts in goal. It's Rosa, Sertalo, Ikatura and Mala, the back four that played against us last time. Mokio, Puch and Ken Taylor in the midfield three as well. Weghorst captains the side of Ajax with Berghuis and Moore in the wide areas. Is exactly the same side we faced before. We know what to expect from this Ajax team. He hasn't a clean sheet, I don't know however long. I don't think he knows what a clean sheet feels like anymore. John Stones forward to Semenyo. Cherki, lovely feet. And then a great ball through to Semenyo. And City can open up early on here. And it's Semenyo. It's Antoine Semenyo. And City have the lead in the UEFA Champions League. Antoine Semenyo with a finish. His first goal in the UEFA Champions League this season in 6 appearances. Good find by Cherki. Plays him through. And off he goes. Good feet by Cherki away from Ikatura. And Semenyo makes it 1-0 Manchester City. John Stones. Rodri. On to Semenyo. Haaland. Cherki. Back to Haaland, he's offside. Oh, brilliant football by City. For the first time in a long while, that was more like it. Well, the opposition midfielder. Berghuis. Can't be blocked. Free header! Oh, it's rubbish! It's rubbish defending. And it's time again for the same old rubbish. What is John Stones doing? Semenyo found. Semenyo. Across the box. Marmoush for this firing. 2 on City back in front. Good play by Semenyo and Cherki. 8-8 now for Omar Marmoush in the UEFA Champions League. Lethal. Haaland. Right to Semenyo. Cherki. Through to Haaland here. Haaland is in! Haaland makes it 3. Goal for Haaland. Assist for Cherki. 3-1. Maybe we can finish this game off in the first leg. 10 goals for Haaland now. More like it, Manchester City. Cherki. Through the middle to Rodri. What a ball! Rodri to make it 4! What a ball by Ryan Cherki. 4-1 Manchester City. And it's Rodri from midfield. He's second in the UEFA Champions League. Great run. What a ball from Cherki this is. Star of the show today. Clips into Rodri on the chest. This is Manchester City again. What about to Savinho? Marmoush. Savinho. Anderson. Oh, what a ball by Anderson. What a ball by Anderson to Haaland here. Erling Haaland to finish the game off for 5. What a ball by Anderson. 5-1 Manchester City. Well, we've come back alive again out of nowhere, haven't we? 5-1. This is the City side we've been missing. Where have you been? Where have you been, Manchester City? Marmoush, brilliant. Marmoush into Haaland. Sertalo's held off here. It's Erling Haaland again here. Erling Haaland again, 6-1. This is the City side from earlier in the season. We've been missing for 2 months or so. And we are back now. I hope so anyway. Offside surely against Götze here. Wrong side of Diaz. Donnarumma with a save. Vardy all the way. Good save by Gigi. Saved by Donnarumma. Well, Cherki never gets to come off the field. Manchester City win by 6-1. Ryan Cherki, the absolute heartbeat of the team. So good. Haaland gets a hat-trick as well. 6-up. We can simulate that second leg. And we're going through to the next round of the Champions League surely now. But is that Manchester City back? I really hope so. Lots of talk in the press conference about Ryan Cherki. We've got to celebrate that performance. Absolutely unbelievable the way he played. More questions about his lack of discipline. I don't care. The man is absolutely unreal. 22 dribbles by Cherki today. No stopping him. We have to keep talking about Cherki because that was a superstar performance. The Premier League table is looking, so our lead at the top has been reduced to just 3 points between us and Arsenal. They face off against Brighton in the next one. Brighton, who sit in 10th place. We face off against Everton in 14th place, so both sides in sort of similar levels. Maybe Brighton a little bit better. Everton's a difficult game, a very difficult game for this Manchester City side. We're still best in goal difference by far. I mean, 21 more goals, goal difference-wise to Arsenal. But 3 points is not much now. 3 points has been reduced massively with our defeat to them. And also, look at that. Liverpool only 4 points off as well. Iraola's Bournemouth, by the way, all the way in 4th place. Credit to him. They're doing absolutely fantastic. And they lost their best player in Semenyo as well to us. So that's looking difficult. There's 12 games in the Premier League season remaining. Let's just hope we can go all the way. If it's not broke, don't fix it, as they say. Despite tired Ruben Diaz and a tired John Stones, really, they start again today. It's exactly the same start 11 and exactly the same bench as we saw away to Ajax in that 6-1 win. First time we felt like Manchester City again. I couldn't make any changes. So away at Goodison Park, or the Hill Dickinson Stadium it is now, as Everton move to this new ground. A new era for Everton under David Moyes. They've got some really good players in there. Tyler Diblin, who can play off that far side. Barry through the middle. Into the centre-back areas, you've got the likes of Jared Branthwaite, James Tarkowski. Moyes has built a side that are very much a Premier League regular. There's no way they're ever going to get relegated, but it is about whether they can push towards European places over time. So far, it's been difficult for them in this series, and they haven't been able to do so. They've always been sort of between 10th and 14th place, and not really pushed any further. There is a man in that Everton side that I think we should keep an eye on. That is Jared Branthwaite. He's a player that sort of sits in idea of being one of our targets for the future, being a young English centre-back. The quality he does have. They're not in a relegation battle, but they still got some good players. Charlie Alvarez in there. Also, a man by the name of Iliman Jai, who is by far one of the best players out of the top 6 clubs. Let's see how Everton do line up today. Well, handshakes for John and Pickford there. Just before we see the Everton lineup. Jared Branthwaite. I think Serginho Dest has been signed. James Garner in that midfield. Certainly some good players in there for this Everton team. So let's see how it is then. So a 4-2-3-1 is expected. John and Pickford, the captain, starts in goal. Is a back four of Ani Martinez, former Girona man, Branthwaite, O'Brien and Dest. It is Iraburnham and Garner midfield 2, then Diblin, Alcaraz and Njai in behind Barry up top. They do have the likes of Bravo, Tarkowski on the bench. Haaland. Anderson. Right to Semenyo. Against Dest, he's past him. Crossing to the box towards Anderson here! Big save by Pickford. Should he score there? Probably. Semenyo. Rodri. Rodri goes for goal into the hands of Pickford easily. Dealt with him. Pickford sent it long to Barry. Still going here. John Stones. Poor defending by Stones. Chance for Everton to score. John Stones is a statue. Goal for Everton in the lead by 1-0. Statuesque defending from John Stones. Is spun by Alcaraz. Again, no clean sheet for Donnarumma. Into Savinho here. And Savinho down the middle at Pickford. And Marmoush puts it back behind for a goal kick. Rodri. Route one to Haaland here. Anderson. Look at Savinho go. Oh, and Savinho! Rubbish. Pass to Haaland there. Half time. 1-0 down. What is Savinho doing? Haaland. Cherki. Semenyo. Onto Erling Haaland. Brilliant goal, 1-1. He's offside. Oh, what a ball in by Semenyo. Haaland's offside. Marmoush. Marmoush. Still. Rodri. Semenyo. Saved by Pickford. Anderson. Cherki. Rodri. Semenyo. Past Dest. Pulls it back to Haaland. Great defending again. Tajani Reinders. And a save by John and Pickford. Reinders. Good feet from Tajani Reinders here. Reinders with a chance here. Oh, just past the post by Reinders. We're absolutely all over Everton. We're in all sorts of trouble here. Barry. Vardiel, brilliant. Oh, but we've made a mess with John Stones. What a save by Donnarumma. Wow, what a save. Keeps in it. Counter. Cherki. Over hit to Semenyo, isn't it? Oh, he's kept it in, Semenyo. Brilliant by Semenyo. Cherki crossing. Tajani Reinders! 1-1. What a ball by Cherki again. 1-1. He's 6th the season from midfield. Let's get that ball and get that win now. What a ball in by Cherki here. Semenyo is incredible to keep it in. Right foot, left foot, no matter. Cherki curls one in. Branthwaite, who's been, I don't know, perfect so far at the back. Not this time. Marmoush. Cherki! Oh! Over the bar by Cherki. Full-time Manchester City won. Everton won. More points dropped in a game we should have won. Just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. And that could mean that we lead the top of the table by just a single point now. 11-point lead in the Premier League slipped. And Arsenal are right hot on our heels now. What makes us a game against Ajax? We're already 5-1 up on aggregate and, well, 6-1 up on aggregate. The final score is 10-4. 3 goals conceded at home against Ajax, but 4 goals couldn't scored by us. The goals come from Nico, Bob, a missed penalty from Marmoush again, and then Nico again from midfield getting us the goals for Manchester City. They get goals with Morrow, Berghuis and Taylor. We're through to the round of 16 now of the UEFA Champions League. Well, that draw against Everton actually drops Manchester City down into second place in the Premier League table, but we do have a game in hand at Arsenal, meaning with a win, we'll go 1 point clear. It did reduce our lead down to 1 point, or it is for the moment, no lead because of Arsenal's game. Now, Arsenal have got a North London derby against 5th place Spurs coming up, which is obviously quite good for us. The final game of today's episode for Manchester City to end the month of February is 7th place Newcastle United, who come to the Etihad. There's a City side to face Newcastle later. 2 changes that actually come into the side, and both happen in the defensive areas. Stones drops out for El Hilali, and Kusanov comes in for Ruben Diaz, who's not fit to start. It's the usual side as always, with only 1 change as well on the bench, which is Divine Mukasa comes in for a tired Oscar Bob. But the City side that have been doing so well at the moment continues to stay the same. And that backline's got full of pace. 90 pace El Hilali, 91 pace Kusanov, and then 78 pace Fardiel as well. So final game of today's episode, and let's end the episode in style. We sent off today's episode with a very disappointing 2-1 defeat at the Etihad to Arsenal. That's really reduced our lead at the top. A draw to Everton, but undefeated since then. A big win against Ajax and a 6-1 away from home. We have felt a little bit like Manchester City are back. Now, we've tried to keep the same team, but we've had to make enforced changes. Stones and Diaz come out. El Hilali and Kusanov come in that back line. But there's some real bright sparks starting to appear. Semenyo seems back in form. Cherki feels at times unplayable, and Elliot Anderson is finding his way into being a midfield starter. Let's try and beat Eddie Howe's Newcastle United at home today, and let's see how Eddie Howe does line up to try and take on City at the Etihad. So 4-3-3 for Newcastle United. They go with Nick Pope in goal, a back 4 of Livramento, Botman, Thiaw and Phil Mendy. It's Tonali, Joelinton the captain, and Guimaraes to midfield 3, Gordon, Voltamada and also Elanga, a pacey and also strong front 3. Haaland. Back to Anderson. Cherki. On to Marmoush here. Omar Marmoush! Oh, and a save by Nick Pope. Now ball in towards Haaland here. It's up against Sven Botman, who's quick. Haaland keeps going. He's away from Livramento. Anderson. He's led it off to Rodri here. And it's saved by Nick Pope. What a save by the England international. Corner ball, Cherki to take it. Takes it off Bruno Guimaraes as well. He's having a really good game. Well, 2 shots. All in our favour at the moment. Haaland. Semenyo. Antoine Semenyo in space here. Botman covering. Semenyo! Antoine Semenyo led this one in the top corner. He's 16th of the season. And City have a bigger lead now. It's a 1-0 lead. Our only lead of the game. Flicked out to him by Haaland or Cherki, I'm not quite sure. But Antoine Semenyo gets to the end of it. And look at that for a finish. Save that one, Nick Pope. Keep that one out. Marmoush, good feet. Savinho away from Livramento. And on to Haaland here into the channel. And back to Savinho. And Anderson. And Rodri. And Rodri for Manchester City. And it falls to Cherki. And Nick Pope gets there just. And Rodri's so frustrated how that didn't go in the back of the net. Cherki. Semenyo again. Semenyo into Haaland. Haaland on the right foot. There you go. 2-0. Erling Haaland scores again. Semenyo assists again. 28 goals in 28 appearances. The scoring rate has dropped massively. Don't get me wrong. The scoring rate has dropped massively. That doesn't matter. What a thumping it that is. So much power. Keep that one out, Nick Pope. Right foot. Just leathers it. It actually hits Pope in the face and still goes in the back of the net. Semenyo with the assist, Haaland with the goal. 2-0 Manchester City. And at this rate, we're going back top of the Premier League table. Anthony Gordon against Kusanov. El Hilali trying to recover as well here. Gordon pulls it back to Guimaraes. El Hilali. What a fullback he is. Cherki. Haaland. Cherki. In towards Marmoush. Oh, my man, his shot is blocked. Elliot Anderson on the rebound here. And past the post, Radisson for 3. His midfield has been opened up here, and the defence. El Hilali dives in on Guimarães, who spins away. Anthony Gordon. Johan Visser! Oh, saved by Dominima. He needs that clean sheet for his confidence. Jolinton. Kusanov again with a challenge into O'Reilly. Full-time whistle goes. Manchester City 2, Newcastle 0. We end the episode back top of the Premier League table with a clean sheet and a good performance and a Haaland goal. That is more like it. Defensively, absolutely solid today. Thanks for watching. Please like the video if you haven't already. Please do subscribe if you are new. You want to see these episodes early and extended, join the We Are City Members Club. What an end to the episode. Let's take that now into the next one. We'll see you guys next time.